What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Flair for Toys, that uncultured heathen. It's your boy Beef. And we're here today with beefs, tips, and topics. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about R-Truth being released, Carlito being released, who could maybe be next, whoop-de-woo, whatever. Talking about TKO. I don't know how you managed to do it, but you've done it. You're in debt. But we're going to get into all that. We're also going to count down the top 5 elite figures so far this year. All right. So without further ado, let's just get this started. Let's start with R-Truth. Now, before we get into the whole TKO thing, I know a lot of people are up in arms about R-Truth's release. I get it, guys. R-Truth, fan favorite. I think everybody loved R-Truth. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about R-Truth. And this was not about his work. This is not about his work ethic or any of that. It all came down to money. The guy was making over $500,000 a year. I think 560, something like that. Now, this is before we even knew that TKO was in debt. Okay? So, here's the thing, guys. No disrespect, because I love R-Truth. But if I'm running this company, dead or not, I'm not paying this guy $560,000 a year for not being featured prominently and just doing comedic relief. Same with Carlito. Even though they both had great spots and we like that stuff, but what business sense does it make to be paying somebody that much? Now, we all get up in an uproar when somebody gets cut. We did this on the last time with Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai. Guys, the company's got to keep moving forward. Even before the whole in-debt thing that we're finding out about, which we're going to talk about that in a minute, you've got to make room for new people. And so you're going to start cutting some of the higher priced people to a point. Now, you're not going to be cutting Roman Reigns, CM Punk, stuff like that. So, now if they start doing that, then okay, well, we'll see what's really going on there. But this is just to clear up money, to clear up room, to bring other people in. You got NXT people that are coming in, or they're going to bring to NXT, people they may want to bring from AEW, people they want to give contracts from LFG, Legends and Future Greats, or these other athletes that may be from the Olympics, or, water polo, or wherever they got them. But, well, I love him too. I'm glad Jesus loves me, because I love him too. Jesus loves all the little children. That's what I was always told. And I mean, everybody does it, but everybody gets so up in arms, and everybody was wanting to threaten Triple H, and I wish I'd go see Triple H. Now let's talk about this for a minute. Triple H maybe have that title. Triple H does not have that power, guys. If he's not being told to do this, I'm sure he's not doing this. But like I said, at the end of the day, you got to get some of this money. You got to get something back to learn to have more money to pay for other people. Now, as I was told, they did offer R-Truth to renegotiate a different deal. It was less money than what it was. He declined it, which is fine. I understand him. You don't never want to take less money. I understand that. But plenty of people have done it in wrestling if they really wanted to stay. Look at Iron Anderson. You think he wanted to go from $250,000 down to $125,000 a year back in the day? No. But he needed a job. But luckily, R-Truth is a really gifted talent. He's got plenty of other options and avenues that he can go. So, he obviously felt that he could go make more money without taking the pay cut. And hey, I wish him the best to his future endeavors. I wish the same thing for Carlito. I've been a big fan of Carlito and R-Truth since I can remember. Chris Dearman, welcome in. Everybody, thank you who did stop in. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just rambling off. But now, the other thing, I did hear that the Miz's contract may be up next month. I'm not for sure. The other thing that I heard is Karrion Kross, his contract is up this year or next year, but I haven't heard whether they're gonna. And a lot of people are saying they're gonna act like they got rid of him, and then they didn't, and it's gonna be a work. So I don't know what's going on with that. But they're probably with this money crunch thing, there are probably gonna be more people cut. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know what they did to get themselves in this kind of hole because the WWE itself is making money. Making money. So I don't know where they went wrong in their business adventures. Probably for paying Vince McMahon, what, $2 billion for the WWE in the first place? So there was $2 million of your $3 million in debt right there. Some news on Vince. I actually also heard that he just sold off all his TKO stock. Or I don't know if he sold all of it. But I know he sold like $1.2 or $1.5 million, whatever, in stock. And ended up getting like $250 million off of that. So now people are saying that he wants to buy the WWE back, but I don't think that's the case. He is wanting to open some other kind of venture. I don't know exactly what it is, but as we all know, Vince's track record, if it's not to do with wrestling, usually doesn't succeed. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And then they bought that. And I don't know how the UFC is doing these days. I used to be a big component of the UFC. I'm not really a big fan anymore. I don't keep up with it like I used to. To me, it got too watered down. Actually, kind of like wrestling, guys. I still like wrestling, but everything has gotten so watered down. It's like we thought we needed all this. And when it comes to a point, there's only so much you can watch. You know what I mean? And with the UFC, I don't want to get off too far, but for me, back in the day, you knew the people. I mean, you knew Chuck Liddell, you knew Tito Ortiz, Rich Franklin, Matt Hughes, GSP. Now, I mean, if you're a big fan, you may know these, but I bet you ask anybody that says they a UFC fan, they probably name you a few people that are around a title picture, and that's about it. You know, I hate to say that, but because I used to be a real big component of UFC. I used to go to the events and all that stuff, but everything just gets too watered down, guys. What's your opinion on how the Colosseum in ancient Rome affected the current? I mean, I don't know exactly what's going with that, but here's the thing, guys. A lot of times it is a good thing to take a lot of. I think that's why a lot of us like around how you're watching me or you're watching everybody else because you want to distract from the crap that's going on. You know what I mean? I understand what you're meaning. Yeah, it's kind of smoke and mirrors, and we're trying to direct your attention over here. But in the end, we all want that other release in some way to get away from audio. Okay, hold on. All right, give it a minute and then tell me how it is. But we all need a distraction. We all want to get away, you know. We have our jobs and stuff, but when we get to do our other stuff that we like come on here and show toys or, you know, open toys or talk about wrestling or talk about UFC, whatever you like, you want to find people who like that same thing. All right, appreciate it, man. So I get what you're saying, but I think in most ways it's a good thing. Now, it is a bad thing to oversaturate, which is what we've done. You know, so many times we've had so many wrestling organizations, AAA, AA, NWA, WCCW, WCW, NCAAP, the NCAA. I know I'm going off on other sports and other organizations, but you know what I mean. Well, you get too many, and unless you just don't have a job, I don't know how you're watching all this. You know what I mean? But hey, if you can make it like that, go ahead. But I do not have time to watch all that. I keep up with it. I like watching the pay-per-views and stuff like that. And every now and then I'll catch clips and highlights of stuff I think I may need to keep up on. But I don't know how TKO got into this debt because you look at what the WWE is doing, they're drawing money hand over fist, guys. So I don't want to hear this, and I don't want to always try to bring AEW. Well, AEW, yeah, AEW is losing money, but it's only one guy there, so nobody's really gonna know unless you're just checking his own bank account. But you are gonna know about TKO, and it's not because now there are a lot of issues in with the wrestling. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that and say there isn't. There is a lot of other things that they need to change. I think it was kind of a hard transition, and don't take this the wrong way, since Vince left. You had too many people that wanted to be charged, and then this person had a little more power than the other one, and infighting, even though you might not hear all about it, there is infighting. I can almost guarantee you. And so one person has their idea going this way and that way. And another thing, as bad as people don't want to admit it, letting people behind the scenes and knowing everything is not a good thing. I don't need to see backstage and R-Truth and William Regal having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea together and saying how they're gonna work this out and fake his black eye and all that other stuff. I don't need to see all that. You know, wrestling was so much better when kayfabe was around. You know, most people were smart enough to the business where, yeah, it's real when people get hurt, and there are spots where some people might get mad and somebody hits somebody too stiff or something like that, guys. But when you think something is real, you'd rather watch that fight than to know, okay, these guys are gonna, circus Olay and dance around and pirouette and this and that. But we all know Roman's coming out on top. You know, most people will watch something when they have a chance of an underdog winning or somebody that they don't like to get beat. And we'd rather these people really kind of have feuds, not see them backstage that they're going on toy hunts and shit together. You know what I mean? To be honest. But everybody's got their own opinion about that stuff, guys. And TKO, there's a lot of things, like a lot of stuff with The Rock being brought in had a lot to do with it. Cody saying no to the heel turn, which now I'm hearing talks that he's probably going to go back and still turn heel, whatever. So it's just, they need to find the direction that they're going to go, and they need to try to stay on that path. Another thing I want to talk about was a lot of people are mad and they blame Triple H, and then they talk about the book, and I don't necessarily agree with a lot either. But the whole Yeet thing, I wasn't on the Yeet train either. But I think here's what they tried to do. They always heard people complain about, you don't give us what we want. Everybody wanted Yeet, we gave you Yeet. And now there's some of us out there that didn't want it, but I understand why they did it. I mean, the dude's been number one or number two merch seller and probably most views, besides maybe somebody like a Roman or a CM Punk. So, I mean, I get it. When somebody gets hot, you need to move to that. It's just part of business, guys. We get too caught up in our fandom, even with figure collecting or wrestling or whatever. And sometimes we don't see the business side of it or don't want to, because we all just, oh, I want this to happen. Well, that didn't happen, so I'm not watching no more, or this and that. Well, that's a good way to show that you don't like the program by not watching. But when you stop watching, about three more people are probably going to tune in. I'm just saying, that's the way it is. I mean, you know, you vote with your views, you vote with your wallet, all that kind of stuff like that. But if you got questions, want to know my opinion on anything, you can always ask. I'm going to run down my top 5 elites of the year so far. Now, this one right here, I've got a tie because I like both of these CM Punks right here. Now, this one is great because of all the extra details, the mask, the arm in the sling, everything like that. But here's where Mattel gets the nod for me. When you can come up and start making articulation like that, and we can get different poses that these people do that we want. Man, when you can actually do the little go to sleep, man, I was like, that's like giving Austin, if they finally would give Austin the middle finger. We're finally going to get the blood on Austin. We're finally getting a hand that holds the beer can. When we finally got Ric Flair with the 4 horsemen hand. That's how you advance your product. Little attention to details. But this is an awesome Punk right here. Now you choose which one you like better, or you can always make yours. You can tell me in the comments or whatever, what is your top 5. But I got those tied right there. What's up, Running Lights? Welcome in. I just got through talking about R-Truth, Carlito, Endeavor, TKO, being in debt, stuff like that. Now I'm running down my top 5 elite figures of the year so far. And the CM Punks are at a tie right there. Straight Edge, and then the GTS, the Go to Sleep. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Ecto Eric, how you doing, my man? Yeah, 3.6 or 3.2 billion. But here's my thing. 2 billion of that is when you purchase the WWE. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it's not the WWE. The WWE is making money, guys. I don't know what else they got going on wrong. Maybe they're paying The Rock too much. I don't know. But anyway, right after that, I've got the Godfather coming in at number 4. We needed another representation of a Godfather. I mean, I think we had one older elite and then maybe a Jack's Classic Superstar. Nah, they won't ask Vince to come back. And Vince just sold a lot of stocks. He sold like $252 million in stock of TKO today. Or maybe not today, maybe yesterday. I don't know. But anyway, that's when I heard it. Some people said that he's wanting to buy back the WWE. I don't think that's... He's got some investment sports thing he's trying to do. I don't know what all that entails, but if we all know Vince, he probably needs to stick to wrestling because every other venture he's tried has not fared well, if you know what I mean. Ico Pro, XFL, what was that other, BWF, whatever that bodybuilding federation was. 14 and I. Oh, I don't even want to get into that. 14 and I. No, I gotta be 21 and up. Goddamn. So next up at number 3, I am going The Rock, the final boss. Okay, yeah, I don't know what the name of it is or nothing, but I heard it was something. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna join Hogan and Bischoff and their deal too. I don't know, but anyway, Rock Ultimate, not Ultimate, but Elite Final Boss number 3. Oh, this is tough. But right now, and only one reason, guys. Number 2 is this Roman Reigns SummerSlam edition. If they would have just gave him one head sculpt without smiling, I would have had this number 1 on my list. It's got to be the shoes. The shoes are awesome. The tattoos are awesome. I just don't, I like that he has the man bun head too, but he just can't have two smiling faces, man. I mean, what's the point in that? And let's see, can you guess who number one is, guys? Chris Dearman, Running Lights, anybody else out there? Who do you think is number one so far this year? WWE, Mattel, Elites. I'll give you a few seconds. Who do we think it is, guys? Y'all see a lot of my unboxings and everything, so I'm pretty sure y'all could guess it if you wanted to. Trick Williams. You know, I actually thought about that, but I don't know if he actually released this year or last year, but that is a really great figure. Triple H, no, sir. It is a tag team. It is the Usos. Man, these things are just so awesome, man. Maybe because I didn't have this kind in the beginning, because this is a re-release in the greatest hits. But man, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, these things are awesome. Going back to their tribal Samoan style stuff, man, they got the bandanas hanging out the back. They got the shirts. Man, they feeling very oosy today. When I say oos, you say oh. Oos. Oos. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and I wish they were still together. I think they're a better tag team than they are singles. I hope they at least get back together and finish it off. Maybe have one last run at the titles. Go back to the day one-ish, the penitentiary style stuff. That's when I thought they were the best to me. Now, I was going to try to do a worst five, but I didn't have time to get everything together. But I can grab one real quick, and I'll show you two of the worst figures so far this year. One is the William Regal Build-A-Figure because the face sculpt is horrible. This looks like Eric Roberts. It does not look like William Regal. And the other one, I know what they tried to do, and I give them props for trying it. But this thing just did not pan out, guys. This Triple H with the suit, it just, I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, we know what it depicts and everything, but yeah, you're going to have to pull a Ron Simmons on this one. Damn. I mean, I know what they were going for. I know they tried it. I give them an E for effort, but it just didn't work. Maybe if it would have been like a painted on soft goods underneath instead of this, maybe it would have worked better, but it just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, man. It don't work for me, brother. But yeah, guys, that's about all I got for today. I was running late. I had a few more other things I wanted to talk about and show, but due to time restraints, LA Knight, the Elite LA Knight, yeah, I had him somewhere. All right. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than these other ones. Oh, I'm just doing elite figures, Dub. Yeah, the face sculpt is pretty bad, but I still haven't unboxed that one yet. But yeah, I don't think the face sculpt is bad on this one. But yeah, this was just an elite elite deal. I wasn't bringing in ultimates. Because if I would have brought in ultimates, man, there's a lot of good ultimates. I mean, if I was doing ultimates, this John Cena would have been right there. But we can have Ron Cena versus John Cena. And we're still looking for Dominic Mysterio. I hadn't seen him, have you? But I want to say R.I.P. to R-Truth. Well, no, he's not passed away, but he is gone from the WWE. We'll always have the memories. Thank you, Ecto Eric. I'm about to jump off here too, man. Have a good night, man. Thank you for stopping in. But yeah, I mean, he may. I hope he don't show up on AEW, to be honest, because they won't know how to use him right. They'll probably have him trying to do some comedy with Danhausen, which actually might not be bad. I think Danhausen's pretty funny too, but yeah, they just I don't want him to tarnish him. Maybe he can go to TNA or something, work something out. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll just sign a Legends deal and get to do some other stuff. Hell, who knows? Maybe he goes to Major Pod and gets a bendy and a big rubber guy. Hell, you never know. Now, I usually don't buy current guys, but I might buy an R-Truth. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming in. That's all we got for today. We the ones. And I may be leaving, but I'm still that uncultured heathen.